So
Okay.
growing up, we like every holiday, my poppy and his wife Petra would get us together, and there'd be a
I
topic,
want a poppy.
and we'd there'd be a question
Mhm.
or a topic or
Okay.
theme or whatever. So
Okay.
one of the themes, for instance, could be like, um, what is what's a moment? I'm just making this up
Sure,
because
sure,
I can't
sure.
remember now, but
Yeah.
maybe what's a moment from your past year where you
Mm.
felt your soul sparkle
Oh, I love
or
that.
something? Or
The Spiritual Shitshow Podcast with Suzanne Soul, episode number 9. It's the Spiritual Shit Show! Hello, lovers, and welcome to the Spiritual Shit Show Podcast, where we get into the complete and utter shit show the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Soul, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, afternoon snacker, midday napper, dog lover, cheese lover, dog and cheese lover, hot dog and cheese lover. And today is a wonderful day because I get to talk with the lovely and talented Brooke Storms. Brooke is an actress and producer in Philadelphia and one of the sweetest motherfuckers I know. And she has the unique experience of being part of a family who's on the spiritual path together. Yeah, that's right. They read New Thought books together, they meditate, they ask each other questions, they sit and have group together. I know, listen. I already asked if I can be adopted, so if they're going to adopt anyone, it's going to be me. So you're just going to have to wait in line to see if more adoption spaces become available. Anyway, let's get to this cute ass chit chat with Brooke Storms. Is she there? Oh, wonderful. She's there.
Brooke!
hi,
Hi!
Suzanne.
Welcome to the Spiritual Shit Show Podcast interview shit show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on my show.
I'm honored.
I'm so honored too. Now, Brooke also doubles as the producer
I do.
and is amazing. You are an amazing producer. And I just want to say that you are also an actress.
Yes.
And so, what inspired you to pursue the world of acting / producing creative? Go ahead.
Well, I still feel like I'm still fully pursuing it.
Yeah.
I but I don't know. When I was a little girl, like watching Sweet Home Alabama, especially with Reese Witherspoon, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. And I like wrote a play for me and my cousins at Thanksgiving and started trying out for musicals and stuff. And I just like, I've been in a lot of acting classes over the years, and there's a sensation through it that I just don't feel in any other area of my life. So I've talked myself out of doing it so many times, and then I end up back doing something because it just like really feeds my soul. It just reminded me of like the first and only feature film I've done so far years ago now. But when I was on set, I just felt like I finally had a purpose, and I just loved everything about it. Like I would go to set every day, even when I wasn't called,
Oh,
and I
how
would just try
cool.
to watch like all the different departments.
Yeah.
And
You are a natural.
thank you.
And I haven't experienced you as an actress on set, but as a producer on, which you're probably the same, but as a producer on set, you are an absolute natural.
Thank you.
So my question is, I believe that the journey of pursuing a career in the arts is also a spiritual journey. And has that been your experience thus far? And if so, in what ways?
Yeah, I would say it's really challenging even still to like work through the mental, emotional barriers of what that looks like the logistics of it, the self-esteem, the self-criticism. Like it's a lot because especially as an actor, like you're really you it asks you to put your full self out there and be incredibly vulnerable and bearing of soul. And I think in my like youth and in different times over my years and even now I'm still kind of coming into my full soul
Yes.
and coming into like allowing more confidence into my heart so that I'm like able to be my full self in front of other people and not be afraid of looking foolish.
Right. So when you say coming into my full soul, Tell me more about that. What does that mean to you?
I think there's been a lot of years in my life where I've held back a lot or just not allowed myself to really shine through.
So to you, your soul is
I think my soul kind of sparkles
I
like
love that.
when I feel it, and I'm
Yeah.
like when I'm really living my purpose, which I'm still finding out, like when am I living my purpose and when am I not?
Okay.
And how do I navigate when I feel like I'm not living my purpose?
I
Because I
love
can
that.
tend to shut down and then I'm not aligned with my soul.
Yeah.
Like when I'm aligned with my soul, I'm really like I buzz like a bee.
Yes.
And I just feel like this.
I see that in you.
Yeah.
Like when we've been shooting today.
Yeah.
I mean, you are
I
like
love it.
on fire. You are so on purpose. And that is absolutely evident. So you were saying my soul sparkles, which I love that. So is to you your like your soul, your like the essence of the essence of the authenticity of who you are, the essence of the spiritual nature of you. What do you
Yeah, I
mean
think
by
it's
that?
like there's so many sides of a soul. There's parts of me that are really goofy. There's parts of me that are really sentimental and mushy. And sometimes it's like you start to get all these voices in your head that are constantly rewiring you to remove yourself from your own instincts.
Yes.
And soul is like my soul instinctual
Right.
feelings
Yes.
that come up that like I have to grapple with. Am I letting my higher power flow through me? Is my soul like alive
Beautiful.
in this, you know?
And to you, where do those parts of you, those voices, like where do they get developed?
I think a lot of it's society. I think
Yeah.
it's like you want to impress people.
Mhm.
You want to make money.
Right.
You want people to think you're good at something. You want to have an answer for when people ask you, what do you do? And what's your thing? And like, what's your this and that? You want to have clarity to show other people,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And also just experiences of like whether or not you're liked by others. You start to adjust and you start to like compartmentalize parts of yourself because you know that maybe my outgoing nature or my extroverted nature makes some people uncomfortable.
Right.
And then you pull that back in
Right.
a little bit or
And then what will happen if they don't like you? I mean, what does your brain tell you? Because we all have that same story.
Yeah.
We all have that fear.
Yeah.
And everybody has, what is your story of what will happen if someone doesn't like you?
Well, I think it hurts the most when it's someone I really love and deeply care about.
Yes.
Like I'm even experiencing that right now. Like when someone I love and deeply care about doesn't like me.
Right. So do you feel like they're not liking you or they're not approving of what you're doing?
I think it's that I don't know if it's that it's approving of what I'm doing with my actions. I think it's that like parts of my personality might bother people. Parts of my personality
Yes.
or my opinions or my ability to be kind of loud or outspoken and like
I
speaking my thoughts.
% relate to that.
Yeah.
100%. And I was doing the same things that you're talking about for so long because I was terrified of being abandoned or ostracized by, like you say, people that are in your life that you care about and you don't want to lose. And you do eventually get to the point where you're like, fuck this shit. And I would constantly be doing that where I was, this part of me is too loud. This part of me is too brassy or abrasive. So I love that you are examining this and you're taking notice of it.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you do when you come up across a situation where someone you love and care about is bothered by a specific part of you or, a way that you are part of your personality? Because we all have so many personality parts and some of them are not like perfect or whatever. So go ahead.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes I think originally, like, I usually get a little defensive and I get on the like, I didn't do that, or I'm not like that, or I didn't really do that. That's not what I meant. That wasn't what I was trying to do. But then I also have to like sit back, and what I've learned too also is like separating myself from me personally and how I impacted someone and their personal opinions or whatever their complexes are. Like, I can take responsibility for the way that I made someone feel.
Right.
I can take responsibility for like that was a valid feeling that something I did caused for them.
Right.
But is it my fault?
Right.
Like the way that they
Beautiful.
react? Like, not really.
Right.
But I can see how whatever I did or
Yes.
whatever my behavior was obviously impacts the other person.
Right.
In some way or another. Like, my
Right.
dad told me a while ago, like, it's really not your business or like what people think about you,
Right.
and it's not your responsibility. Like,
Right.
if you had the best of intentions and
Right.
you're being yourself and
Right.
other people like have hurt feelings, it's not like fully my responsibility.
Right.
But I think it's important for me to be conscious and take the part that is my responsibility.
Right, because there's a
and separate
difference.
that.
Yes, because there's a difference between being abusive
Yes.
and unkind and cruel and hurtful because you're being abusive to someone,
yeah.
as opposed to being, like you're saying, your personal self, who we all have reactions to things, or we all get triggered, or we all might say the wrong thing. But like your dad said, you're just living, right?
Yeah.
You're just living and you're just being you. And we are all human. We are all we are all fallible. We are all imperfect. And I think, I don't know about you, but for me, when I have started to take in the same ideology or what you're talking about, it's helped me be more tolerant of other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Because when you're able to be like, yeah, I definitely, like, if I heard myself in that moment, I can see how I was freaking out. A lot of times when I'm around my sisters or my mom or my dad and I experience them, I'm like, oh, that's how I sound.
Right.
When so-and-so says that I'm being abrasive.
Right.
I'm like, because that was pretty abrasive.
But
like,
I mean, when we start to prune ourselves like that, oh, I sounded abrasive. Oh, I was too brassy, or I was too loud, or whatever. All the things like you're saying, that makes us less human, and I think makes us less beautiful.
Yeah, less of self. I mean, it's such a balance. It's such a balance of like, how do I let myself shine through and be like let my soul sparkle.
I love soul sparkle.
Yeah, I love that too. But also be able to like self-regulate enough to be like, well, if this part of my personality is bothering someone, maybe they're not the person to be around for me to do such and such. It doesn't mean I shouldn't be like that. It doesn't mean I shouldn't act like that. It doesn't mean like I should limit that part of myself. I just have to find another channel to let that energy out.
Sure. Okay, I like that, because that doesn't necessarily mean. So what I'm hearing you say is that sometimes we're going to clash with someone in a specific area that we do not clash with them, and a lot more other areas we are in harmony.
Yes.
And I think I love what you're saying, because in essence, how could we just completely be in harmony with someone and all parts of everything about them is perfect to me? I love everything. There's not one thing that bothers me about this person. So I love that, because it's so honest and it's so realistic. I think especially in romantic love, and even in familial love too, or friendships. Okay, all love. Okay, I take back all the, it's, this person, and if you get triggered by this person because they're doing this, well, then you shouldn't hang out with them. And I like what you're saying, because it's not about letting someone abuse you, and it's not about letting someone be unkind to you, or try to box you in. But it is about recognizing, like, in majority of cases, and I experience this, I guess, with family.
Yeah.
We are so great in this area, and in this area, I'm just gonna not
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
there.
And it's hard because I feel like it's taken me years to learn certain things with certain people. And it's like every relationship, you're kind of figuring it out as you go. Like, and it's not that you want to jeopardize yourself, but you want to keep the people around you safe. And you
Right.
want to understand like how they respond to things
Right.
well and how
Right.
they don't.
Right.
Like one of my sisters has taught me, like, since I was a teenager and we had a really big falling out, we learned a lot about our differences. Is like, I'm an extrovert and she's an introvert.
Right.
And like, we really had to work through some of our issues with learning from her how to interrupt less,
Right.
how to like listen to her even more because
Right.
she's quieter.
Right.
And just to center ourselves around that. And like, our relationship is absolutely incredible today.
Yeah.
Whereas like growing up, when I didn't have that ability to regulate and I didn't have the knowledge and the sharing between us about our feelings, about how we made each other feel, like we really let that out. And now our relationship is on the other side of it.
Right. And it's such a fine line because there's a difference between curtailing yourself or not letting yourself be who you are and being open to growing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's like there is such a fine line. Like, am I doing this because I'm afraid this person is going to not like me anymore or not want to be with me anymore? And we all are like that. And we all have those experiences. And at the same time, am I willing to let this relationship teach me? And if I'm doing it in a way where I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable, then you're on the right track.
Yeah.
If you're hiding your vulnerability, that's not great.
Right.
If you're opening yourself up to, like what you were saying, to humble yourself, to your sister because you love her and be like, I want to listen to what you're saying. So that's different to me than you saying this thing is bad about me.
Right.
What you're saying is in the spirit of me being caring and considerate about her feelings.
Yeah.
In a way that you don't feel like you're not able to be yourself, but you're doing it because you love someone.
Yes. Yeah. I'm able to be a different part of myself.
I love
in that way.
I love that.
And I have to learn it with every different relationship in a lot of different areas over and over. Like, there's other relationships where I'm still learning how to deal with people.
Right.
And
that never ends.
How to still be myself and discover, like, where's the balance. So, yeah.
So I want to ask you, you are such a kind and nurturing person.
Thank you.
And I want to know where that comes from and where your heart is when you're doing that. Like, what does that do for you?
Well, I would say I'm a Cancer. I'm an Uber Cancer.
Yes, very, very feeling-y.
Yeah.
Very sensitive.
I'm super empathetic.
Love that.
So I just feel like I am really in tune with how other people feel. Yeah. Like, and I actually feel it in my body. So I like
kind of an empath.
I'm connected to that part of it. And sometimes it's tiring, but a lot of times when I can make people around me, like when I feel connected to people around me on a deeper level that's not super shallow, and when I feel like I understand like their heart and they kind of understand mine, it's like we're able to talk to each other on a subconscious kind of level.
Yeah, you're communicating energetically.
Yes.
I mean, and they say that we actually communicate energetically more and deeper than we do just with our verbally. And I think it's the intention behind it. Like you're saying, if you're having a deep conversation with someone, the energy exchange is very full and deep and effective on us.
Yeah.
So,
I think acting actually plays a big part in that.
I love that. Yeah.
Like acting is really, the training that I've gotten is really about listening to people.
Yes.
It's really about connecting and opening yourself.
Acting is reacting.
Yeah. And so your question about like how did I become nurturing? Like I will say
Yes.
my mom is a really, really nurturing
How
person.
lovely.
My dad is emotionally intelligent and
Sounded like it
nurturing.
from what he said.
He's really
His wisdom to you was really incredible.
yeah.
Okay, I love that. So that takes me actually to that you have shared with me in previous conversations before this podcast that your family, a lot of members of your family is intentionally on a spiritual path.
Yeah, I would
And
say.
and that you are going to be seeing them soon at the time of this recording. And you're going to do an intention setting, which is
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
Please share
yeah.
about that.
Well, my immediate family and me and my sister, who
Yep.
I've learned so much from about like how to adjust to people's
Yeah.
needs, we were saying we should set intentions for our family vacation that's upcoming because my immediate family, the 5 of us and my grandmother.
Okay, so you're setting an intention before you go on the trip, what the trip is. Oh my God, this is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
How do I become adopted in your family?
Well, we're gonna see how it goes.
Okay, okay.
because, to be honest, we've
Is this a
not
pilot
done-
program?
Yeah, we've not done intention setting like with the 5
my
of us
God.
before.
Can't even imagine.
But it's like everybody's open to it because when we talk to people one-on-one, it's like we each have a different idea going into it. We're going to spend a lot of time together. Like, how is our time going to be connected?
Yeah.
And it really goes back to my grandfather, my dad's dad, who like has instilled upon us deep interpersonal connection and like knowing and wondering how someone is really doing and what they're really
Wow.
looking for.
Wow,
And-
beautiful.
and
Cut
like-
through the bullshit.
Yeah, and let's talk about that.
I love that.
And let's be open with each other and let's engage with those feelings on a deep level so that we're actually like in relationship,
Wow.
you know?
Whew. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I know your family is big spiritual New Thought book readers and
Yeah, it's funny because I'm like, if they heard this, my immediate family, I feel like they'd be like, wow, that, yeah.
you're really talking
But-
us up
yeah.
spiritually and we're just regular.
My one sister's like witchy. My other sister is like really, really interested in
I'm kinda
getting
witchy.
some like more support,
Yes.
in these areas,
Mhm.
but like struggling to kind of get there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because my greater family, like my aunts, uncles, my cousins, and my grandfather who has since passed, like all of us kind of do have a connection in that way. Like
So amazing. And I think it's so important. I talked with some other guests about moving through trauma, but there is, that this path as well, which is, passing down this inquisitiveness and this spiritual seeker mentality.
Yeah.
What's beyond
yeah.
what we're looking at? What's beyond the veil?
Yeah.
And so, what I was thinking about when you were sharing with me about how that you did have this environment where spirituality was discussed, where spirituality was a part of the conversation in your family,
Mhm.
for you as an individual, you take what you learned from your family,
Mhm.
and where have you gone with it, and where have you taken it that is unique to you?
Well, I don't know. I've kind of teetered around different areas. Like there's been times where I've been in kind of denial and I've like muted my personality and muted my connection with the higher power or like the energy of the universe.
Sure.
And I've really had to like reconnect and welcome more of that into
Mhm.
my life.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say I'd like to do more of it. I'd honestly like.
Well,
if
I mean,
I'm
you're
being honest.
yeah. Mhm.
I'd like to have more like sharing circles, like my family has had.
I love
think
that.
that would be really.
I'll do a
nice.
sharing circle with you.
Yeah.
Let's do one right now.
Okay.
Okay. So you tell me how to do it.
Well, there's a topic. So
Okay.
growing up, we like every holiday, my poppy and his wife Petra would get us together, and there'd be a topic.
I want a poppy.
And we'd like there'd be a question
Mhm.
or a topic or
Okay.
theme or whatever. So
Okay.
one of the themes, for instance, could be like what what's a moment? I'm just making this
Sure,
up 'cause
sure,
I
sure.
can't remember now, but
Yeah.
maybe what's a moment from your past year where you
Mm.
felt your soul sparkle
Oh, I love
or
that.
something, or where you
Okay.
felt like a confidence boost or something.
Mhm.
And what in the future year would you like want to do more of that makes you feel connected to your life's purpose?
I love that so much.
And we would all like pick a number
Mhm.
and go in order, and
Mhm.
everybody could share
Okay.
on that theme.
Okay.
So what's a moment that you had in your last year
In my
that
last
you
year.
felt like your soul sparkled?
Yes, thank you. My experience of my soul sparkling is kind of like getting rid of stuff. Michelangelo, when he was asked about the David, how did you make the David? And he said, the David was always in the marble. I just had to chip away the excess to get to him. So for me, I feel like I like get, I come out of my shell every time I have revelations about old patterning of thinking that has been tying me down.
Mm-hmm.
And, just a realization of, I think, something upon like what you shared. When I realized that I had been trying to get love by being someone who someone thinks I should be and feeling ashamed
Yeah.
when I wasn't, and that I didn't deserve to be loved. And I had an epiphany that that was absolute bullshit. And
Good.
that was like my soul was like,
This year you
"Sparkle!"
did?
Like recently.
Wow.
Like within the
Wow.
last month. And I
Good
know
for
that. Thank you so much.
you.
And I know that doesn't sound like, because I mean, I'm a singer and I do all fun things, but I actually get the most juice out of shedding old shit. So please tell me your share of what made your soul sparkle in this last year.
I wasn't sure I was going to talk about this, but I have 7 months of sobriety. And it's funny because thank you.
Amazing.
It's funny because
God bless.
like I keep talking about my grandfather, which is hilarious because spirituality, he was very spiritual, but he was not religious by any means.
Yeah, well,
but
it's an experience.
Yeah, like he was one of the first people to tell me where I actually could hear it and actually believe it to be true, that he felt like it sounded like I did have, a substance abuse issue.
Oh, okay.
With something like with something that's really common and popular. But I think like doing two-way prayer for part of my year last year, and like just connecting, I rebirthed myself on October 29th, and I feel like that really helped my soul sparkle.
Is that your sobriety date?
Yeah. like,
Beautiful.
I
See,
decided,
I love
yeah,
that.
I decided like I wasn't quitting anything. I was ready to start my life.
You were choosing yourself.
Yeah, I was ready to like say yes to all the other things. And so that like started me on a new journey, and I kind of treated myself like an infant for a few months, like emotionally, vulnerably.
Oh my God, that's how you got
inside
through
of
it.
myself. Yeah, I was like, I'm really like I'm young into this. I'm like I need a lot of tender love and care, and my sponsor helped me through that.
Amazing.
And I would say that really helped. That's really helped my soul sparkle.
I love that. I love that so much. I so love that. What is what would you like to see? What is your vision for your life? In this next year, what would you like to see?
Yeah, going back to the
to
the sharing, my vision for this next year, I'd really like to come into myself more. I think I'm learning. I've been trying to learn more about myself. I think for me it's about like putting it into action now.
Yeah.
I think that I've been shifting and growing and making a lot of great progress.
Yeah.
And I think it's like learning to actually hear and nurture my instinctual self.
Yes.
And then like be brave enough to take the actions it takes to like live that out.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yee! Oh my God. I support that so much for you. And I'm so thankful that you were on my podcast. And everyone, this was Brooke Storms' first podcast.
Yay.
I broke Brooke Storms, podcast Cherry.
That's right. I'm no longer.
You
a
were
podcast
so
virgin.
woohoo!
My fiance's cheering.
Her
in the back.
fiance, her fiance's cheering. You were such a fun, wonderful guest. You just so wonderful, and I love what you said. And to everyone, let your soul sparkle. I love that.
Yes.
It's gonna be my
It's
new
a
motto.
journey for all of us. I feel like I'm still on it, but let your soul sparkle.
Let your soul sparkle,
Absolutely.
girl. Love you.
Love you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's your birthday.
Thank you. It is my birthday today,
I
of the
got
day
you
of
a
this
little
recording.
something.
Stop the music. I hope it's an air conditioner. I'm kidding. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's stuff. I love this. I don't know what it is, but oh my God, I love stuff. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Stress relief, needed. Eucalyptus spearmint, love it. Aromatherapy.